It's just a bunch of ideas floating around that you can just pull these pieces in, and now you've got a whole system that works that you didn't have prior. I can see tomorrow better than most people can.
So many people say that working with your spouse is difficult.
It's not difficult, but in any relationships, you have your ups and your downs, and you have your difficulties and really easy paths in life. Seeing it, doing it, messing up, normal day, right? But how you get up and how you make it perfect is what makes you different.
Welcome back to the BILFPod, where authenticity trumps authority. My name is Seth Dorne, and I'm your host. And if you haven't already, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe. And obviously, I want you to share it with. Today's episode is something that is very near and dear to me. First of all, as we get closer to Thanksgiving, it always reminds me of my childhood. For those of you that don't know, I actually lost my father on Thanksgiving. So the Thanksgiving holiday is always a memorable one, obviously. And rather than, I don't want anyone to ever take pity on me, it's more of a celebration of life. And it gives me an opportunity really to reflect on what I'm thankful for, the many people, the many things, just in life. And I feel so thankful this holiday season, but I'm especially thankful because I have a very special guest on today. This is my husband. He happens to be my business partner, my best friend, and obviously the love of my life, Mr. Seth Dorne. Welcome to the BILFPod.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being on this side of the camera this go around.
Yeah, the set that he actually built. So if you guys haven't noticed, this is a brand new set. This is obviously my husband, because the one thing about my husband that people don't know is he is usually behind the camera making me look good. But he is my greatest fan, my biggest cheerleader. And it's just been quite a ride together, babe. What do you think?
It has. It's been a long umpteen years, 11?
Yeah, I know you a long. Yeah, I know you a long time. We're married. How many years are we almost married?
You know exactly the amount.
How many? Like 9.
Going on 9.
Yeah, 9 years.
Going on 9.
Yeah, so much you know about me. It's so much fun. It's been so much fun. He doesn't even know.
I know a lot about you. Now, the us thing, we've gone through a lot together,
Yeah.
And so that time flies.
Time definitely flies. But I really wanted to not only talk about why we're so thankful, but I think a lot of people in general have asked me, for those that know me really close, they know that Seth and I work together. We've built a business together. We basically do everything together. And I know that sounds kind of sappy, but it's not what you think, because we are individuality, even though everybody pairs us together. But, let's take it from the top. Our journey together has not always been easy. There was a long lay of friendship, and then we got married. But I want to dig into the point where when we started building our business, and I'll tell you this, I've heard many great thought leaders talk about their income rising, or, just everything started to turn around when they started to go into business, or they had a partner that believed in them. And I would never admit this to you, but it is absolutely 100% true. Before I met Seth, I was doing okay in life, but my income probably 2 to 3x when Seth walked into my life. And I could say it was attributed to many things, but the truth is when you have a vested partner, and obviously 2 heads are better than one, everything just went exponential for us, and we were able to build an incredible empire together. And that's kind of where I want to start, where that, that turning point where, do you remember when we got married, we had like $30,000 about, right?
Yep.
And then we were moving into our building that we are currently in. And I remember, tell me if you remember this, I remember being so scared, because that was the only savings or money we had. So I remember being so scared about building this dream that we wanted to fulfill. And you were the one that was the risk taker. I was the visionary. You were the risk taker. So let's talk about that, because I'm sure there are people out there that have, money in their savings account. They want to open up a business, or they want to do something. So let's talk about that and how that felt for you and what you kind of drove us to do.
I mean, it is true. If you build it, they will come. And that was the mindset I was in, and prior to making a big leap and opening up our own real legitimate office goals and 10,000 ordeal, but we knew it was working because the prior place that we were working in, we were we were blowing from the seams every which way, and so we had people working in the hallways outside because there wasn't enough room inside the office. Making that leap of faith and jumping into here was kind of the fishbowl mindset where, you get a bigger fishbowl and the fish will grow.
Yeah.
And they'll fill up more space. You can get more fish. That's exactly what we did here. We gave them an opportunity to blossom, and our one office that we created has probably turned into more than 1,500, all because we were willing to take a leap of faith that no one else would.
Yeah, and I also want to point out something that, really kept us very humble. Well, because I was super pregnant at the time, but one thing that Seth did do as we were doing this, keep in mind we had $30,000 and it was a lot more money to get this started because we had first, last security, plus we had to pay for cubes and electric and all the other odds and ends that came with it. But one thing that I will never forget, and you still continue to do, is you remained humbled. And he was literally taking what is it, a jackhammer? Is that the name of it? And jackhammering the floors. And he was there putting together cubicles. And I think that always kind of kept us humble that from the beginning.
It was humble, or we had to just do it because we didn't have the money to do it. But we recently gotten married, and then right after getting married, we wanted to open up an office. And basically our life savings was put into the wedding and then put into the office. We had to take a chance, but we knew we'd be okay with spending all that money. We knew that we had enough money coming in the, offset, our living expenses. So it was a smart risk, and it steamed a path to the future decades.
What would you say was the biggest life lesson during that process?
You can teach yourself anything on YouTube.
That is true.
And now ChatGPT, you don't even need YouTube. Literally, this whole office was built, not the office we have currently, but the office was built with my hands, and because I didn't have enough money to even afford any cheap labor whatsoever, and had to do it myself. And some YouTube videos, I hung up 30 TVs later, built cubicles, desks, ripped out carpet. And then I remember for our second office build out, I required all of our leaders to help build that office out, tear out carpet, get dirty, get a little bloody. Just because I knew what it did to me, it creates a sense of pride to where even if you're walking into the bathroom in someone else's place of business, I'm there picking up toilet paper off the floor because it looks bad, And so having that sense of pride in this place being yours and what I had and what I instilled in others is a very valuable asset.
Yeah, I think it definitely doesn't go unnoticed. And still today, we're definitely no strangers to coming in and picking things up off the floor or, cleaning up the kitchen in here or whatever it takes. And you're absolutely right. One thing that Seth did bring to the table is that people saw from the beginning that Seth never felt like he was above anybody or above any task in the office. If Seth was willing to do it, everybody else was. And that's kind of where our culture started to really become stronger because everybody had a vested interest. Even that summer, or maybe it was 2 years later, do you remember when the air broke here and there was this huge part and there was we have, 5 stories, and we needed to get this part all the way up, but it was virtually impossible. We couldn't do it with a crane because it's the stairs are enclosed. And everybody, because the culture was so strong and everyone had already seen Seth do so many menial tasks, or not even menial, just tasks in general, everybody went, or anyone that could, took a helping hand to bringing that part all the way up so we can have air during the summer. It just goes without showing. Maybe.
Do you want to go with air all summer, or do y'all want to help pick up this 2,000-pound pole and shove it up? Yeah, either way, they like air conditioning.
Yeah, they definitely do, especially in the Florida heat. But, just kind of going back to that and what that looked like for us, so many people say that working with your spouse is difficult. Would you say that working with your spouse is difficult?
Did you just kick me?
No.
It's not difficult, but in any relationships, you have your ups and your downs, and you have your difficulties and really easy paths. The way I view it is not that working with my spouse is not at all. I'm loving every moment of it. And yeah, we get on each other's nerves, but then we make up after.
That's all we really know, though. Also, we don't really know working without each other because we've worked together since you started. So there really is no Seth without Mara, Mara without Seth. and people are always,
I
who's
mean,
better. We just have different
you
wants.
wanted me from day one, and so I basically was so I felt like I was, and and maybe that's what it was.
I'm glad you told yourself that story. It's not really how the story played out, but we'll just, for this, because I'm feeling very thankful, we'll just, go with that. But I will say that working with your spouse, people ask me about it all the time, what it's like. And number one, like I said, I really don't know anything other than working with Seth. But the other thing is that it's working with someone that's ride or die. Even sometimes when I think I'm getting pushback or he's not on my side or I'm getting a little sensitive, I know that at the end of the day, no matter what, he's going to stand next. And when you have somebody that's equally vested in what you're doing, you know that the results are just going to show for themselves. The results undeniably are going to be amazing because you have two people working together for a common goal. And regardless of what's happening in between, I just think two is better than one, honestly. I mean, it's not like we're out here unraveling in front of people. We never do that. We kind of keep our stuff. If something's going on, we'll bicker, but nothing like
it's a business. Whether it's a power couple, a power duo, more than one person is better than one.
Yeah. So for Seth, I've watched you evolve in this business. And, Seth he actually doesn't have a background in tech. His background is actually similar to mine. He has a criminal justice and legal studies degree, right? It's criminal justice with a minor in legal studies.
Sociology. Close enough.
Whatever, whatever.
That's how much she knows about me.
I know a lot about you. Whatever. But my point is that our business is a business. I think any business is very innovative. And I think a key factor in keeping up with your business is being innovative. And one thing that Seth does bring to the table that's super important. So if you don't have somebody that's innovative or somebody that is not keeping up with the times, I would definitely suggest you find yourself a Seth or, hire one. But one thing Seth has been able to do that's revolutionized our business is to stay up with the time. And I kind of want to know, where does that come from? Your brain works on a different level, babe. You think about things I wouldn't even know to know that. How do you know that?
It just makes sense. There's no...
You can't say, you got to elaborate. What do you mean?
I mean, I can see tomorrow better than most men, right? And so how do I make someone's life easier tomorrow, knowing the information? And so whether I hear something in passing and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. It's basically stored in my memory pretty much for good. And then, let's say it's just an idea. I want to accomplish this thing. And I'm like, that would be really great. I just don't have the way to do it in between, right? I don't know how to get there yet. But a few weeks, months, or even years later, that in between is like, oh, shoot, I can use this to do that. I remember that idea from way back. And then I implemented and bam. And so it's just a bunch of ideas floating around that you can just pull these pieces in. And now you've got a whole system that works that you didn't have prior.
So I would say for you would prefer to work smarter than harder.
I think there's a good equal. I like to work hard and I like to work smart, but I like to do it to where I'm not working aimless. Stuff that I do and the stuff that gets done is done to fix problems moving forward, so I don't have to having those.
So can you explain to everybody why systems? Because I'm not a systematic person at all.
No, you're not.
Zero
You're
systems.
An idea.
I'm an idea.
Blurter.
I am. I'm an idealist, not an idealist, but I'm a visionary.
Idea blurter.
Yeah, I am an idea blurter. I am a visionary. I definitely can't execute. So one big piece of advice is you hire for your weaknesses. And I definitely am not good at tech, any of that, but how would you explain the importance of having systems and understanding why systems are so?
System creates structure. System creates, and just like building a house, you can't build a house without you can't build a house without a plan. You build a house without foundation and without a plan, it ain't gonna be there for long. So it all comes down to how you execute. And I'm sure you're not gonna execute on that same thing over and over and over again and doing it differently. Right. If you are, that's a complete lack of system. Our job and our days are so monotonous and we do the same thing over and over again. Why not make that a little easier every day and to where you've got systems that make that same process, cutting down on your time a third.
Can you give some examples of maybe some systems that would be useful in a work organization, whether it's a CRM or a project board, something that people, maybe something inexpensive would help organize, something that you like, one of your favorites.
Nothing's going to make sense.
You can name a work board, a job
All right, let's
board,
say we
or
have
whatever. Workflow.
Let's say we're running job ad. We're just placing job ads out, making sure we keep track of what the job title is, right? And how many applicants we got from that job. What was in the body of the job? What was the compensation? What was the CTA or the call to action on it? What was the benefits of that job? And then seeing how many applicants you got from that job. Keeping a tally of all of this over and over again, you're going to start to see trends in job titles that work and compensations that work and benefits that work. But failing to keep track and just posting this as you feel like you just think it's going to be better because you did this one cool thing in there, but really it might not have done anything at all. And so the lack of keeping track of all of that and actually understanding your numbers is going to lead to you just thinking you're doing the right thing. Meanwhile, you're really hurting your business, and that's just data, right? And then with the data, you can create actionable automation. All right, we got to post jobs every day. To post a job every day, we got to go here, there, and do this. So why not we create an automation that can post that for us, right? Why don't we create an automation that can grab that data for us? How many applicants, things like that. You can have auto forwarding from your email go into a parsing system. And now you can keep track of how many applicants you get from this job post versus that job post. And then tying that all back into a Google Sheet to post all that information there.
Hence why we're so profitable, because if it was up to me, I would just post and just hope for, I'm like, go by the seat of your pants. But he's absolutely right. Understanding your KPIs and your ROI is super important. And the only way to do that is to have real data. And real data comes from keeping track of whatever system you're using and then going over it and then trying to perfect it so you understand what's coming in versus what's going out. Because a lot of times, one great way to bankrupt yourself in business is to just put a whole bunch of money, throw it at a problem, and not understand the KPIs, what's coming, your ROI in return. So that is a big thing that Seth has brought to the table. But I mean, you've brought so many innovative, different aspects of the business, and keeping up with the times is hard. So how are you able to continuously keep up with the times? Anything that's innovative or new. I know you're working on AI things. Like, how do you know to even do that?
I mean, social media has played a big part into it, following people that do the things that you'd like to do and emulate. Luckily, nowadays, if you just watch a video too long, it knows that you liked it or you watched it, and they're going to show you more of it. You don't even have to like it. So I don't know, I got a weird social media formula that I'll watch stuff a certain amount of time so it knows I'm watching it. I'll like stuff when I want to see more of that stuff. I'll follow if I want to see that specific niche over and over and over again. I talk to ChatGPT a lot. My new thing is just talking to ChatGPT and not typing it, because I can just have full-on conversations in my headphone talking to myself, but at least I'm getting a lot of information in pointless times. I'm driving home from one office to another office. It might be 2, 3, 4 hours to get there. Might as well just talk to myself. Not really myself. I'll talk to ChatGPT and keep asking it questions. And honestly, the most I get from ChatGPT is when I prompt it to ask me questions. When I prompt ChatGPT to ask me questions, like beat me up about this idea, I end up getting so much more out of it and creating bulletproof systems.
Is that why you've been so much more talkative lately with me and asking me questions? Have you been talking to ChatGPT about me? Asking ChatGPT to ask you questions about me? Or so we can have a conversation? Because you're not very talkative, but you have been lately.
Usually I just ask it how to process your emotions a little bit better.
One thing about you that I do know, and I've learned from you, I've actually taken it from you, is you have great ideas, but you also have no problem, and this is going to sound terrible, is taking other people's ideas and making them. And explain, because I think a lot of time ego gets in our way and we're like, oh, we're not going to take that from that person. But it has helped us tremendously in our business. In fact, one thing that I will give you credit for is Seth was instrumental in taking our sales team from, I don't know, we were doing like a few $100,000 to $1 million team within like a 6-month time frame. And he did that because he went and listened to the way somebody was doing something via phone, because we used to do face-to-face sales. He took that, brought it back, went above my head. That's a whole other story. But he took somebody else's idea and just perfected it and ended up being, still today, he is the leads guru, but completely changed the trajectory of our team. So let's talk a little bit about the importance of doing that and why it's not shameful.
I mean, every day, if you're not learning one new thing a day, you might as well stop doing whatever.
Yeah.
I think that if you're not learning one new thing every 2 hours, you're focusing on the wrong things. And just picking up one nugget, right? That one nugget, whether it's a conference call with your colleagues or a conference call with a company you work with, or, even just scrolling endlessly on social media, you should be able to pull one thing in that you're like, oh, wow, that's cool. That's a different way of doing it. And again, you just store that in the memory database and hope that one day you find something else that makes that whole seamless process. Yeah, I mean, you're an observer. I guess that might be where I'm suited. I observe, I can see things, and then I can pull that one item in and be like, oh, wow, now that all makes sense. Seeing it, doing it, messing up, normal day, but how you get up and how you make it perfect.
What would you say that your greatest accomplishment so far, or one of your?
What has yet to come?
Have one single one, not one single moment, like or even a defining moment.
I think I've had a lot of amazing moments in the business.
You have,
and I've had a lot of amazing moments in life. I don't know. I cherish what can happen in the future more than what. I'm not going to sit here and live in the past. Yeah, I've had some great awards and built big teams, grown an amazing family, and all of that is stuff that I love and cherish. But I'm not thinking about it all day, and I'm not sitting here and thinking, oh, well, I've done all of that before. I don't need to really do it again. How do I make it to where my life's easier, my family's life is easier, and how do I make tomorrow better than today, which ultimately just makes me work all damn day. But that's a whole nother topic.
So let's kind of switch gears for a second. You talked a little bit about family, and I don't know if you listen to what I say. Who knows if he really listens to any of my, he never read my book. Never.
Let me ask you guys, you live with your spouse, you work with your spouse talks all the time. I mean, we have a conference call together, like a full hour, 2-hour conference call, me, her, a team of people together. And she calls me back right after the conference call to talk about the conference call. I thought that's what the conference call was for, right?
I just want to rehash the conference call.
So let me ask you a question. With all the talking, do you really think I listen to all your podcasts?
No, I think you listen to none of them.
Yeah, I kind of want like the silence.
Okay. So I don't even remember where I was going. Oh, so on one of my reels, I talk about, you've definitely heard me say this, is I don't think that work-life balance is a real thing. I don't think that is, I just don't think that's I don't think it's real. I think it's work-life compromise, not balance, because nothing is ever evenly balanced. You can't. I don't think that, sometimes and I think you would agree, like sometimes things take precedence. Sometimes our work is going to take precedence over our marriage. We've put our marriage on the back burner many times. I think we've gone on maybe a total of 3 dates by ourselves ever in our entire relationship.
That's because you do not ever.
Okay, but that's not what we're talking about. Get back on. No, but my point is, or where I was going with this is, family life and work life is hard. And I know a lot of people want to know, how are we able to prioritize or juggle, being spouses, having 3 kids at home. And we are hands-on. We do go to the basketball games, the wrestling matches, which was horrible. Don't ever suggest that for any mom out there. But how are you able to do?
To what, juggle it all?
Yeah.
Just cut down on hours of sleep. There's nothing else to it, really. I mean, it's just life. It's every day. I wake up for it. I go to sleep for it, whether it's my wife or my kids or my work or anything else I want to do. It's throw it in there and prioritize it, of course, and get it done.
What would you give one piece of advice to a man that is trying to juggle it all?
Juggle what?
Juggle work, life, everything, spouse, trying to be a jack of all trades. It's not always easy, but I think you do a pretty okay job. Not the greatest, but you do okay. No, you do a good job. You show up when it counts. But, in our house, I will say that we do have gender roles, especially in our house. Not so much at work because I like to lead, but there is a very defined gender role in our home. And I'd like to keep it like that. Call me old fashioned. I'm all about the woman empowerment, but I do feel like in our house, we do have specific roles. At home, I am the mom and I am the wife. And at home, Seth is the dad and he is the husband and he is the one that takes out the trash, does all the manly things. But I think there are a lot of men that struggle trying to juggle everything. And you do a good job of that. How are you able to do nothing?
No.
You don't know how? Do you feel like you do a good job at that?
I feel like I can never do it.
I feel like we're always like that, right? Like our boat, I always say like we're in a boat and like when one thing is going good, like we're plugging the other one. We have one kid going on the right track. Like we're in second grade listening to why our kid can't do something or why he's inappropriate or it's just constant. But, I will say for the parents or the spouses that work together or just the moms and dads that don't work together is allow yourself some grace. It is about work-life priority and doing the best that you can. Kids don't come with a set of directions. Life doesn't come with a set of directions. And I don't think there is a right or wrong way to do anything. And I think for the most time, we're just winging it,
I'm going to tell my wife that after this.
we're just winging it most of the time. But, as we get closer to Thanksgiving, I kind of want to wrap this up with talking about the things that make who we are, but more importantly, like what we're really and why we're in the business we're in and why we've done this for so long. And like for me, I've stayed in this so long because of just the enjoyment of being able to watch our friends and our family, prosper in this. It's been such a roller coaster, but at the same time, it's been such a blessing to have had a hand in making a lot of the people that we know. So what about you?
The list is endless, really. I mean, some things that I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
Of course, you're thankful for all your accomplishments. You've done this. Everything has just been stand out and above. I'm extremely thankful for our kids, making sure they're driving us crazy every day and I wouldn't have it any other way. Thankful for being pulled in one direction and getting pulled in another direction and then a dog, always something. But yeah, I mean,
scratch that part. So as we begin to wrap up, let's do a little rapid fire to see how well you know me. I'm going to say 5 questions and let's see if you know the answers. And then you can ask me 5 questions. Let's see if I know the answer. All right, ready? Okay. What is my favorite color?
Your second favorite is pink.
It doesn't matter. I said my favorite. That's black. So you got that wrong. Okay. I could go anywhere and live anywhere in the world. Where would I live?
New York City.
Yes, that's correct. That is very, very true. Okay, next question. What is my favorite food? That is my favorite cuisine. That is correct. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, what is currently my favorite sweet treat?
Cookie.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. You're right.
Your prior.
Okay, what is my toxic trait?
I don't think you want me to answer.
You can. Go ahead, go. No. Yes, no, answer. What's my toxic trait?
The nice way of saying it is you don't shut up.
A dredger?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I am. That's true. All right, you got it all right. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, go.
What's my favorite color?
Blue. Black.
What is my favorite food?
Steak.
It's the best area code in the...
That's not fair because I don't agree. 305.
What's my favorite sports team growing up? Close.
The Canes. The Canes. Clint Canes.
What weight did I wrestle in high school?
200. 190, 200. What was it?
189 pounds.
I was close. I was so close. Very, very close. All right, babe. But on a serious note, I'm going to have you on the show again talking about business because I think you do offer a lot as far as, talking about AI and leveraging AI and talking about lead gen. More importantly, I wanted to end this episode talking about what we're thankful for, why we do what we do, and just give, some warm love to her. So I'll start and this Thanksgiving is obviously just like every Thanksgiving is very sentimental to me, but I feel especially humble this year because of the different things we've been able to accomplish together. It hasn't always been a smooth ride, but I think at the end of the day, that family supersedes everything. And I'm so excited because this year coming is going to be the best year ahead. We have so much to look forward to. We have a daughter going to a college. Both of our sons, thank God, they're in good health. They're doing great. just our family in general. Our families are coming together, both sides, his parents, my parents. It's going to be definitely different. But we get to spend Thanksgiving as a real, true family. So I'm really excited about that.
And I am thinking, first and foremost, our family. We're getting more and more beautiful with age.
I think I am.
I said we.
I'm getting younger.
And outside of the family, I would say are the people we surround ourselves. We surround ourselves, people that are there for us on the moments, whether it's close family, friends, or business partner, anyone for that anyone, whether we are traveling for work and some shit is hitting the fan and we got to get someone out to our house or get someone out to the office. We have people that we can count on a regular basis. That is honestly the most heartwarming thing that we have is the ability to call someone and they're there for. I can sit there and maybe call a few people if their phone doesn't pick up or they don't pick up, and there's going to be someone available. They're ready to go at any moment. 1, 2, 4 a.m. We've got so many people.
Family and friends. What do they say? You can pick your nose, but you can't pick. What is it? You can't pick your family. You can pick I don't know, but you know what I'm trying to get at is that, having special
You would
friends.
just love.
I would, but having a group is always important. So my challenge to you guys, and please post this on the BILF Instagram, is list 3 things that you're thankful for. And not just your traditional family, friends, but really dig deep and think about 3 special things in your life that you are especially thankful for this season, because this is a very special season. We've had a new president come in. The world's been crazy, but Thanksgiving really gives us a time to sit back, really reflect, and show love to those around us. So from my family to your family, I want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. And most of all, I want to thank you, babe, for joining us. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and tell your friends about the BILFPod.
Bro.